A very good evening to you and welcome to Primetime News, coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Krishan Devasagayam.
And I'm Nicola D'Souza. We start off with our headlines.
President removes Vijaydas Rajapaksa from cabinet ministerial portfolios. Signs of new investigations into avant-garde under new Justice Minister. Reshuffle of ministerial positions in the North Central Provincial Council. 20th Constitutional Amendment presented to Parliament.
President Maithripala Sirisena says the Samurdhi movement will be strengthened further.
The Samurdhi Praja Shakti 2017 National Convention got underway under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena today.
When you take a look at the development activities in the north and the east in comparison to the other provinces, it is at a low. Of the 9 provinces, the Samurdhi movement is taking place successfully only across 7 provinces. The Samurdhi movement in the north and the east is yet to reach the standards experienced in the other 7 provinces. The government will give prominence on this matter and with the leadership of the minister expects you to share knowledge, experiences and the contribution of all those who are in the field to successfully implement the Samurdhi program in the north and east provinces too.
नायකත්වයේ තුල උතුරු නැගෙනහිර ප්‍රදේශවල ජනතාවට වඩාත් දායාද කරන්න මඟ පෙන්වන්න.
In a headline-making story this evening, Dr. Vijaydas Rajapaksa has been removed from the position of Minister of Justice and Buddha Sasana. According to the Presidential Secretariat, the letter in this regard had been sent by the President to Vijaydas Rajapaksa this morning.
The President's decision to remove Vijaydas Rajapaksa from his post was based on a request extended by the United National Party and its leadership. Vijaydas Rajapaksa arrived at the Ministry of Justice today to meet with staff members of the ministry.
I believe the cause for all of this is the bond commission. The money that was defrauded through the bond scam is so large that it cannot be quantified properly. This is probably the largest scam since the reign of King Pandukabaya. Since the President appointed a commission to look into all of this in an unexpected manner, the names of the masterminds behind this scam began to be revealed. A lot of people were frightened by this. The footnote clan that worked to cover up this scam was afraid of what was going to be revealed. I was able to maintain the independence of the Attorney General's department. The people of this country expect a proper recommendation from them regarding the bond scam. They expect cases to be filed against those responsible. If the Attorney General's department is independent by the time this commission report comes out, they knew that cases would be filed against those responsible by this minister. So decision was taken to chase away this Minister of Justice and break the spine of the Attorney General's department. That is why on the 15th of this month, the Attorney General was summoned to Temple Trees and was berated by backbenchers and other thuggish MPs. He had been ordered to expedite some cases against individuals who are their enemies. He had been given 2 weeks to get this done. They are attempting to portray that I am delaying case and sweep the bond scam under the carpet. They are using me as a sacrifice.
මගේ ගමන ගැන මම පසුව කියන්නම් අදට ඇති. මම අයින් වෙලා නැහැ එකකින්වත් දෙකෙන් අයින් කරා. දැන් ඔබතුමා වෙනුවෙන් එක්ක ජාතික පක්ෂේ මන්ත්‍රී හිටියත් එකයි නැතත් එකයි. ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයට ආරාධනා කරලා ඔබතුමා.
Who will be appointed as the next Justice Minister?
We can see at that time.
This is a UNP issue. He is a member of the United National Party and he contested under the UNF. Therefore, we have no need to intervene and take any actions. This is a party decision. From the time this government came into power, he was the first to make a statement saying that action will not be taken against the Rajapaksas as long as he is in office. Gotabaya's soothsayer has told him that he could be the presidential candidate by 2020. There are around 3 people in the government who are prophesied to be the presidential candidates in 2020.
They have begun to take action against ministers who are not getting involved in exacting revenge from others. We can state this government has stooped to a new low. We have never fielded a common candidate. We will field our own candidate. We will never follow a common candidate.
Do you remember the discussions and reports that stated that Vijayadasa Rajapaksa was linked to the avant-garde deal? Over the past 2 years, we have been exposing many details in this regard. This is a report to refresh your memory.
On the 20th of January 2015, the police discovered over 3,000 firearms on board a floating armory. It was later revealed that the floating armory belongs to avant-garde, and later a broad investigation was launched.
According to the authorities on the ship, around 3,000 firearms of various makes and models are on board. It has been reported that there were automatic weapons such as T-56 assault rifles and semi-automatic rifles as well. We are conducting investigations. The authorities on the ship said that it belongs to the private security firm known as Avant-Garde.
An allegation was levelled that the government lost millions of rupees as a result of the floating armory and the onboard security team operations carried out by Avant-Garde. The allegations were levelled at chairman of Avant-Garde, Nisanka Senadipati, and a group of people including former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa. While the police was conducting investigations and reporting facts to court, then Minister of Law and Order Tilak Marapana made a public statement that the police were carrying out this investigation in order to score points with the administration and drew parallels with the Millennium City raid of an army intelligence safe house. By the 9th of November 2015, Tilak Marapana stepped down from his position due to this statement. Even though Minister Tilak Marapana stepped down, issues continued to crop up with regard to the investigations process.
Senadipati is the owner of Avant-Garde. His passport was impounded, but it was returned to him within a week. We know who in the government intervened in this and where they are from. We said this in the Executive Council and they accepted it. One is Vijayadasa and the other is Tilak Marapana. They were the ones who returned the passport. If they are preventing punishment from being meted out, or if they are obstructing punishment, then we will expose them to the people. At a meeting chaired by you, Senior Solicitor General Vasantha Navaratna Bandara said that cases can be filed under the Firearms Ordinance, the Explosives Ordinance and the Prevention of Terrorism Act. I recall Minister Mangala Samaravira saying that a case has not been filed under the Prevention of Terrorism Act. At the meeting chaired by you, it was said that as they have political reasons, cases can be filed under the other two acts. The Attorney General says that there is no need to file criminal charges and that investigations will be done by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption for money laundering.
Thereby officials disregarded the Firearms Ordinance, the Explosives Ordinance and the Prevention of Terrorism Act and filed charges under the Money Laundering Act. On the 6th of September 2016, Nisanka Senadipati was arrested. Less than 24 hours later, he was released on bail. A few weeks later, the passports of Nisanka Senadipati was also released by court. Persons involved in fraud and corruption in the country have shaken this country through the Avant-Garde matter. There are media reports which say that it will be shut down. However, there is an issue as to whether that is possible. Our stance is that this had not taken place. More ministers are involved in this matter surrounding Avant-Garde. You cannot carry out a proper investigation with persons connected to it remaining in the cabinet. The issue we have is this: when will legal action be taken against the persons who were involved in this illegal weapon ring? What action will be taken on the incident where the serial numbers of the weapons were changed? When the supply of the arms was carried out by the Sri Lanka Navy, was cabinet approval obtained to transfer it to Avant-Garde in 2012? Who had done this? If Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa is acting beyond the statements made by the cabinet spokesperson, that will be a serious issue. What is the official stance of the government? There is one law for the common man and another for those with privileges. Persons who gave bribes to engage in the weapons ring must not be allowed to remain free in this country.
After saying that legal action is being taken, Minister Lakshman Kiriyala says that this is an ongoing court matter. Do not speak about it. The other minister says that there is no legal issue. We need an explanation. Was this institution formed in accordance with the constitution? Was it in accordance with the law? How was it established? What tasks were performed by the institution? We are a party that stepped out onto the streets and worked to build its government. We are the ones who worked for it. At the Constitutional Council, it was I who said that there is a reason to arrest Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
ගෝඨාභය අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්න කාරණයක් මේකේ තියෙනවා කියලා.
ඒකට මේ වරද කරන්න අවන්ගාඩ් එකට කවුද අවසර දුන්නේ?
I need to remind the Minister on the avant-garde investigation that according to the regulations on international maritime security, having a weapons cache at the Galle harbour is illegal. Therefore, who permitted avant-garde to commit this wrong? Was there anyone in this country who was capable to permit such an act which violated the law? Was there any such person in the Ministry of Defence? If not, how was this permitted to take place? If they had, we would like to ask the Minister if that is not wrong. There is a person called Suhada Gamlat at the Attorney General's Department. He came to the Sirosa Media Institution and spoke like a parrot. He says that as Rakna Arakshaka Lanka is one that comes under the Ministry of Defence, a person doing such an act is not wrong. Suhada Gamlat is the second tier of the AG's department, and the statement that he made was amusing. According to the law of the country, even the Minister of Defence cannot make such decisions. At the general elections, I publicly said that the Minister of Justice is a thief and a fraud and that he obtained bribes, so do not vote for him. The Minister is definitely involved in the avant-garde issue and is profiting through it. He obtained bribes from avant-garde and he is attempting to protect avant-garde. The Minister from Galle, Vajra Abe Wardana, is also involved. He is also alleged to have obtained bribes.
It was later revealed that Vijayadasu Rajapaksa had been a long-time friend of avant-garde owner Nisanka Senadipati. Images of Vijayadasu Rajapaksa engaging in a tour of Disneyland further proved these reports.
People like Vijayadasu Rajapaksa should not be in these positions. We have maintained a stance. This is not due to a personal dispute between us. This was an issue about his policies. Charges were levelled against him regarding avant-garde. The media revealed that he was linked to Nisanka Senadipati. This was revealed by certain ministers as well. We felt that he could be a hindrance to the investigations. It takes around 6 months just to check if Gotabe's signature is correct. They can give excuses, but it is not proper.
If legal action is being taken against avant-garde, then a number of people, including the current Secretary of Defence, should be arrested because the Navy continue to use the services of avant-garde. There are over 500 Navy weapons in the floating armory in the Red Sea. The Minister of Defence should also be held accountable in that case. No one can point the finger at me in this regard.
However, this allegation was rejected by the Navy commander.
Is the Navy using weapons seized from the avant-garde vessel?
No, we don't have to use any weapons seized from the avant-garde vessels because we have our own weapons. So I don't see any truth in that.
Commander, is the avant-garde vessel being used by the Navy?
No. So long before avant-garde came into the equation, the Sri Lankan Navy was running this operation nearly for I think a year or a year and a half, right? Or even more than that. Maybe 2 years. We ran this operation completely by ourselves. No one spoke about it. We had a little company called Avant-garde that was a security company in Sri Lanka. We came up and somehow managed to convince the government that they could do a better job, and it was the whole operation was handed over on a platter by the commander at that time to a private company.
It has already been revealed that the government suffered a loss of over 11.4 billion rupees due to the avant-garde deal. Just 2 months after the Navy took back OBST operations from the avant-garde, the Sri Lankan Navy earned a profit of over $3 million. After depriving the country of millions in revenue, individuals involved in this fraud attempted to sweep it under the carpet, stating that the serial number of the illegal firearms had worn off. These same individuals later altered serious criminal charges into money laundering charges and once again attempted to sweep this scam under the carpet. Aren't such individuals traitors to the nation?
Oh, avant-garde සමාගමත් එක්ක තිබුණු සම්බන්ධය.
What was his connection to avant-garde and Nisanka Senadipati? This was a long-standing friendship that started in 2006. We saw the manner in which he toured America with Nisanka Senadipati. This was revealed by Cabinet Minister Sarath Fonseca. He showed the pictures and exposed his friendship. So how did he function when a case was being heard against his friend? 1.5 years ago, he lied to the people. He lied to Cabinet. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa said that criminal charges couldn't be filed against avant-garde. He was quoting the advice of the then Attorney General. This is a lie. It was later revealed through former Attorney General's documents that he had never said such a thing. The former Attorney General had said that criminal charges could be filed against Nisanka Senadipati and Gotabaya Rajapaksa through the avant-garde case. It was Vijayadasa Rajapaksa that concealed everything. But what did Ranil Wickremesinghe do? Since he was a UNP minister, the responsibility fell on the Prime Minister's shoulders, but he didn't do anything. Tilak Marapanna resigned because he wanted to safeguard Nisanka Senadipati. Ranil kept quiet even after Vijayadasa made statements to protect avant-garde. Who is at fault? Does booting out Vijayadasa Rajapaksa fix everything? How can we believe that the investigations will move ahead now? This is the problem that we have. We don't believe that you can get justice by merely sacrificing someone. An investigation should be held into Vijayadasa Rajapaksa's statements on avant-garde and how he acted to protect avant-garde. Legal action should be taken against him. You cannot escape your own sins by resigning.
ඔහුට එරෙහිව නීතිමය පියවර ගත යුතුයි. එළියට දැම්මයි කියලා ඉල්ලා අස්සුණයි කියලා සියලු පව් වලින් නිදහස් වෙන්න බෑ.
Now, this matter was also discussed at the Cabinet media briefing held today. Let's take a listen to what was discussed at the briefing.
This is not under the Firearms Ordinance. This case was filed under the Money Laundering Act. They did this because they cannot receive bail. There is a huge dispute in the legal sector as a result of this case. Therefore, we can ask the new minister to hold a new investigation into this.
We can see that someone has influenced this case. Who is it?
කවුද මතුමා මේ බලපෑම කරලා තියෙන්නේ? කවුද කාටද මේ වගේ බලපෑම කරන්න පුළුවන්?
When the investigation is held, we will be able to find out who influenced the case.
If a person carries a weapon, he will not receive bail. But the main accused in the avant-garde case is still at large. He was not remanded even for a single day. Is the government not showing any attention to this?
මේ මීට වැඩි අවධානය යොමු කරන්නේ නැද්ද ආණ්ඩුව මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන්?
No, the attention will be drawn. The relationship between the minister and the owner of avant-garde has been revealed. There were pictures as well.
There were allegations that the accused in the avant-garde case took the minister and his family on a foreign tour. There were money laundering allegations against the Minister of Justice. There were no steps taken. Do you wish to take steps in the future?
We have to speak as a group and take a decision regarding this.
Former Central Bank Governor Ajit Niwad Kabral appeared before the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption.
Ajit Niwad Kabral was summoned to provide a statement in relation to the Greek bond issue that took place back in 2011. He remained at the Bribery Commission premises for almost 7 hours.
In 2011, when the Greek bond matter took place, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka generated $430 million. The figure is $430 million. However, last year, the Central Bank generated only $53 million. Who should be held responsible for that? Compared to the $430 million that was used in the investments, they have only generated $53 million. Who is responsible for that? The minister in charge of the Central Bank must look into that. Why have they failed to do that? How is it that only we managed to do it?
Chief Government Whip Minister Ganta Karunatilaka tabled the 20th constitutional amendment in Parliament.
ගරු කතානායකතුමනි 20 වෙනි ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථා සංශෝධන පනත් කෙටුම්පත ඉදිරිපත් කරමි.
20 වෙනි ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථා සංශෝධනය
The 20th amendment to the constitution is a draft bill on amending the constitution of a democratic socialist republic of Sri Lanka.
පනත් කෙටුම්පත.
දෙවෙනි වාරේ කීම කවද්ද? Tomorrow. සභාවකද? ආයි.
Foreign investments in the stock market and a discussion on capital gains tax on dividends took place in Parliament today.
In 2015, 5.3 billion rupees of foreign investments in the stock market were pulled out. However, in 2016, foreign investors made a net investment of 383 million rupees in the stock market. As of the 11th of August 2017, the fund inflow as a result of that investment was 26.7 billion rupees. It is recorded as the second largest net foreign investment in stocks in the history of the stock exchange. We hope to pass a new Sri Lanka Securities and Exchange Commission Act to update the regulation on capital markets. We hope to present that in 2 months. We have no intention of introducing the capital gains tax mentioned in the 2016 appropriation bill to the stock exchange.
හඳුන්වා දීමේ අදහසක් නැත.
2015-16 වර්ෂයේදී
The 2015 and 2016 budgets propose that dividends will be exempted from tax. However, no such amendment has been presented to this House in relation to that. Can you say whether an act to exempt dividends from tax was amended in Parliament?
සංශෝධනය කළාද නැද්ද කියලා.
මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ If an act was presented to Parliament for amendments, you need to be aware of that. Do not ask that from me. You've been in Parliament for almost a year.
ඊළඟට දැන් මේ ගේන බදු පනතෙන්
I'm not sure whether he was aware. The Minister of Public Enterprises Development accepted that tax relief will not be given for dividends, foreign investments or to encourage investments except for what is mentioned in the Act. Therefore, if you are speaking of the stock exchange, you have a responsibility to have a discussion on whether tax relief on dividends will take place or not. You shouldn't be asking questions from me. The collapse must be prevented.
මේ තියෙන එක කඩාන වැටෙන එක නතර කරගන්න.
ලංකාවේ ඉතිහාස For the second time in the history of this country, a large investment of 26.7 billion rupees has come in. But he says that this is a withdrawal. I challenge him on this. He is mistaken.
In another headline-making story this evening, 4 new provincial ministers for the North were sworn in before Northern Province Governor Reginald Curray today.
Chief Minister C.V. Vigneshwaran took oaths as the Northern Province Minister of Finance, Policy Planning, Law and Order, Land, Energy, Housing and Construction, Tourism, Local Government, Provincial Administration, Rural Development, Road Development, Passenger Transport and Transport. Anadi Sasidharan took oaths as the Northern Province Minister of Women's Affairs, Rehabilitation, Social Service, Cooperative Development, Food Supply and Distribution, Industries and Enterprise Promotion. Dr. Gnanaseelan Gunaseelan was sworn in as the Northern Province Minister of Health, Indigenous Medicine, Probation and Child Care Services. Kandaya Sivanesan was sworn in as the Northern Province Minister of Agriculture, Agrarian Service, Animal Husbandry, Irrigation, Fisheries, Water Supply and Environment. The new appointments were made as 4 Northern Province ministers were removed over corruption allegations. Former ministers T.K. Kurukularasa, P. Aingarenesan and Dr. P. Satyalingam resigned from their posts in the face of corruption allegations, while measures were taken to remove Balasubramaniam Deniswaran from his post.
Chief Opposition Whip Anurakumar Dissanayake called on the government to provide immediate relief to those affected by the drought.
517,825 agrarian families across 19 districts were affected by the drought. I propose to this House that immediate measures must be taken to provide relief to them. In March, the President announced 10,000 rupees each for an agrarian family for a period of 4 months from April to July. However, only 8,650 rupees had been given. 1,350 rupees is slashed as insurance. What is this insurance? It was only given in April and only for the agrarian families in Trincomalee and Kantale.
Loans were presented to selected families in the Putlam district under the Samata Sevana housing project.
Housing loans worth 50 million rupees were presented to 500 low-income families in the Putlam district. The event, graced by Minister of Housing and Construction Sajid Premadasa, was held in Madampe, Chilao. The group that used to sit on the throne claimed the time has come for our opposing groups to take over the responsibility of the country. I make a request from you to refresh your memory to beyond 2015. The Ministry of Housing and Construction is where the largest extortion took place. This took place at a pace where even the state institutions under the ministry went bankrupt. They amassed all possible personal wealth, but they only portrayed patriotism to the people. However, today, with brave leadership, we have commenced a journey to provide solutions to the issues of the people, understanding the aspirations of the masses.
Several heads of mission called on the newly appointed Minister of Foreign Affairs Tilak Marapana today.
The Ambassador of the United States of America, Atul Keshap, called on the newly appointed Foreign Minister Tilak Marapana this morning at the ministry. Attention had been drawn towards ways of strengthening the robust bilateral partnership between the two countries. Amongst the dignitaries to call on Minister Tilak Marapana today were the Acting High Commissioner of Pakistan to Sri Lanka, Dr. Safraz Ahmad Khan Sifra, and Secretary to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Prasad Karyavasam. Yesterday, Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Taranjit Singh Sandhu, met with the new Foreign Minister to discuss bilateral relations.
The newly appointed Navy Commander Travis Nair commented on the issue of Indian fishermen poaching in Sri Lankan waters.
Lots of people in this country don't realize that the Navy is on patrol 24/7, every day on the border. We are the only people who patrol a border in Sri Lanka. We are your first line of defense. We have always opposed the Indian fisherman. We are not going to oppose him. We are going to help the Indian fisherman to find his way and to understand where the maritime borderline is. So when he strays into our water, we will take him out and we will make the line so visible that he will not cross our line.
The Navy commander, speaking to reporters at the media briefing at the Navy headquarters, also commented on Yoshitha Rajapaksa.
Yoshitha Rajapaksa has been suspended from his duties until a formal inquiry is done. There are certain offences that have been drawn up against him. I think one is with regard to absence from the service, for, being abroad without a prior approval from the commanders. Usually commanders may have given him the approval. So we are not sure. We have not inquired into it. Absent without leave is not a huge thing. We have hundreds of people, thousands of soldiers that we call who have gone adrift. So they have made a mistake and they will be removed from the service. And well, if he also is found guilty, then the same punishment that is given to everybody else will be given to him too. You cannot have a conflict of interest while being in the forces. If you are a director of a company doing two jobs at the same time, that is being a naval officer and at the same time doing another job, there is a conflict of interest. As per the oath that we take, our commission, we can't do that.
Well, that's a wrap of your primetime news for tonight. Thank you for joining us. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Nicola De Zoiza.
And I'm Krishan Devasugam. Take care. Good night.
Good night.